Okay, I got a quick story. The name of this story is going to be Mischell. It's a relationship story. It's just, it's something that did happen. It was, I'm going to say it's about 10, 11 years ago. I was applying for a job, and this lady, she interviewed me for the job. So, I was in the health field. But normally my regular job is in truck driving, security, stuff like that. So, I was in the military too. So, basically, I was trying to get into this new healthcare type job. So I met this lady. She interviewed me. Good looking lady. She was from Belize, right? So anyway, she interviewed me and everything. Real cool, and she know I didn't have any experience, so she hired me anyway. Far as helping me out with the test and everything like that. So I had to take tests and do a lot of things. And like, to keep the job, you had to pass so many tests, written tests. And so I did all that. So anyway, she's helping me out. But in the meantime, right before I was going to do my CPR class, because you got to participate, I broke my shoulder. Shattered it, man. I fell down my stairs in my house, and I broke my shoulders. So I went to her and I told her, hey, look, I'm not gonna be able to do CPR. I think I'm gonna get fired, right? So she was like, no, we can push it back because you got a broke shoulder. But she sent me to this hospital, and she said, I break my arm all the time. So I looked at her and I'm like, what? And then she just said, she always break her arm. So anyway, I go there, they put me in a sling, whatever. And then they took me out of a sling. But anyway, to make a long story short, it wasn't progressing as fast as, because I had never broke any bone in my body in my life. So this was all new. So it was taking a little while. And then she said, hey, why don't you go take this type of, go to Target, and it's these pills that I take them when I break my arm. So I'm just looking at her like, what are you talking about? You always talking about she broke her arm and she be breaking her arm all the time. So just then, I go to Target. I start taking these pills that she's talking about. Within, I'm going to say 2 or 3 weeks from the time she told me, my arm is healed. I'm like, what? Man, I just woke up one day and moved my arm. Like, what the hell? So I seen her. And I was trying to tell her, hey, Mischell, it worked. And she was holding her arm, and she said, yeah, I said, what's wrong with you? And she said, I broke my arm. So I was like, what? So it's like, is this a coincidence? You break your arm, I broke my arm. I'm like, I'm not understanding, So it was like, she was always kind, always, either something wrong with her all the time. Like, she's always getting hurt. Always got a bruise or something. So then she started missing a lot of work. So within a year's time, I'm telling you, she's missed months, weeks at a time. Oh, where was you at? Oh, I was in California. She always got an excuse of where she was. So I didn't see her a lot. So one day she was at work. And this was like, I'd been there for a year, and she always was kind to me. A lot of people didn't like her, but me and her had a good relationship, And one day, I was outside of where I worked, and this lady, she fell to the ground and started crying. Now, Mischell just left probably 10 minutes ago. Said, I'm finna go home, and I'll be back. So this was like maybe 3 or 4 o'clock that day. She never came back. So I was like, well, wait a minute. So this girl, she fell on the ground later on that day. So I never put the two together. I never put that she fell on the ground because she heard something or anything. I'm just like, crying hysterically, right? Anyway, the news was that Mischell was dead. She went home and she got killed by her boyfriend. What? like, whoa, what? Her and her daughter got stabbed to death by her boyfriend. So the whole time, the whole year, when she was always hurt and always having the bruise and the broke arms and stuff, she was being abused. Come to find out, she used to be married. And back then, so this was like 11 years ago, it wasn't called FaceTime. It was called Skype, and it was on a computer. It wasn't on cell phones. But they was being introduced at the job, and she would have it at her house. Any computer could do it. So she was telling everybody about this new thing called Skype, new thing called Skype. So they said she was Skyping with her husband. And she was also living with this guy that just got out of jail. And they say he came home and seen her Skyping with her husband, or ex-husband. And the guy lost his mind. Pulled a knife, stabbed her to death. The daughter tried to come in and help her, stabbed her to death. So now her 18-year-old daughter and her dead. She's like 37 years old. Beautiful. I mean, just unbelievably beautiful. And just took her life. And I just wish that she would have said something to somebody so she could have got help. So a lot of women, men too, if y'all being abused, you cannot be helped if you do not say anything. And it hurt my heart to this day. And I think about it all the time. Like, is it something that I could have done? Is it something that anybody could have done to avoid this? Or is it that she felt like she couldn't talk to somebody? I don't know. I'd never be able to ask her. She's not on earth anymore. But she was a good person. I never really got to know her that good. I knew her for about a year and a half. So what I could tell you is she was always pleasant. Always pleasant. I have not one bad thing to say about her. I worked for her. She gave me a chance when nobody else gave me a chance. She helped me out professionally in my job. And I think about this all the time, man. It's just something that stays on my mind. And it's just a story that just to let people know, if you've been abused, please tell somebody. Somebody could help you. We got 2 people that lost their life. Beautiful. You're trying to be nice, trying to help somebody who got out of jail. And I know people like, well, people that's been in jail, they're people too, and you should try to help them. But at the same time, I can't even describe it. I just wish it couldn't have happened to her. It wouldn't have happened to her. She was a good person, and I'm just telling y'all this story because maybe I'm just telling you because it helps me just to remember how beautiful she was, how great of a person she was, and that she really helped me my whole time working at that job. And I miss her every day. I wish I could have got to know her even better than I did know her, but it's just one of those good people in the world, man, that just gone too soon. And I knew her for a year and a half, and she made an impression on my life, And I'll never forget her. So if you like this story, please subscribe to the channel. It's just a short story to tell you about a lady. I'm going to just keep it at Mischell because it was a terrible thing that happened. It's a very true story, and it was just from my perspective. Far as everything else that was going on, I don't know, but from my perspective, and the reason I really never will forget this is because it came to a time where I broke my arm, and I just never forget it because that was like a real bad time in my life. I never went through that before. And it was a scary time. So press like, share, and let's go on and grow this show.